Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching. Today I'm going to be filming a get ready with me during which I will chat to you about the topic of having acne and skin picking. I don't know why I'm like so nervous. So I'm starting off with this beeswax cream on my lips. It's from this like local honeybee farm. Are they called farms? On the islands of Kos, where my family is from. I'm just using this on my lips. It's like a body cream, but I find it to be way too thick and waxy. Unless, you know, you have super chapped hands or knees or elbows and you're gonna use this as a treatment. You probably can't even get this where you are. I don't know why I'm telling you about it. Anyway, this thing is strictly beeswax, olive oil, almond oil, and masticha. How do you say masticha in English? It's amazing. It's like totally saved my lips. Now I'm just going in with my Bobbi Brown Corrector in Peach. So this topic is like touchy, but like I also have no problem talking about it. So I've struggled with my skin. It's hard to say whether I was struggling with it as a teen, because if I was, I just like was not aware. But definitely when I was 18, like it started getting really bad. And I do think that there's some like causal correlation between that and it being my first year of college. And I was really stressed out. I was living in New York City, and first of all, that's a really bad environment for your skin, just physically. And second of all, the stress of being at Barnard and of it being my first year of school and just being in a very fast-paced environment. You know, I think that had a lot to do with why I was breaking out. And by breaking out, I mean like cystic acne. Not the worst case you'll ever have seen, but enough to like really upset me. By the way, I just picked my skin. It had been like a couple days since I had seriously picked, which is a huge accomplishment for me, but I just popped like 4 or 5 zits on my face. I'm just going in with the Real Techniques Buffer Brush and the No. 7 Stay Perfect Foundation in Warm Ivory. I have a first impressions on this. I will link it down below if you're interested. So I will say that when I started reading more about skincare and kind of abandoned some of my old methods, a lot of those methods were like more natural and stuff, and I'm not bashing people who want to be more natural with their skincare. It's just like a complicated topic that I'm not gonna cover right now. But you know, once I started finding products that worked better for me, my skin did get a lot better. You know, I don't necessarily believe that something is better than nothing, because I definitely have been using skincare since I was a teenager, and you know, none of it was really working. So now I would say I haven't cured my acne. It's hard to say whether acne is a disease or a skin type, because, you know, resources will tell you both things. A lot of textbooks will discuss it as a skin type and as a disease. Like it could be anything. Like I've changed my diet and that kind of helped. I've changed my skincare routine and that kind of helped. It's really difficult to pinpoint what is causing acne. There are certainly things that I haven't tried. Like I haven't tried going to like holistic medical specialists. Like I haven't really tried any of that. Dermatologists really have not been able to help me. But that being said, I haven't seen that many dermatologists, because I also have this thing where I'm like, ugh, I'm an expert. I should be able to fix it myself. And like that ego thing has a lot to do with like the skin picking as well. But anyway, since I started using like more chemical exfoliants and stuff like that, my skin has definitely shed a ton of layers, and I don't get like cystic acne anymore. But I'm also not as stressed as I used to be. Like my mental health has improved significantly. A lot of that has to do with the fact that I am pursuing skincare as a career. You know, not that I regret like going to school and studying academic things, but I think now that I like have direction and I'm really happy with what I'm doing, I'm not as stressed and my skin is responding well. That, and I don't have so many like layers of buildup for like plugs to get created more easily and for cystic acne to pop up. So my skin definitely isn't as bad as it used to be, and my skin definitely is not as bad as some like severe acne cases. Mine's more mild to moderate now, but it still bothers me. I still like obsess sometimes. It's just like, it might be the #1 thing that I complain about, and I don't like that. I don't like when I'm constantly complaining. I'm taking the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Chantilly. So anyway, when I was, I think a freshman in college, That's, oh, see, that's way too much concealer. So when I was a first year, I started going to a therapist. It wasn't the first time I started going to a therapist. I definitely went while I was in high school to a couple of different people, but I started going specifically because I had this picking issue, and like, obviously something that you do, like self-inflicted kinds of things, are like psychological issues. So I wanted to get to the root of like what was making me so stressed or whatever, that it was manifesting in the form of like this kind of self-destructive behavior, just having like a poor relationship with my face. Like, what's the point of that? Like, why was I doing that? And like, what could I do to stop it? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so I didn't go to anybody that like specialized in skin picking, like, but that being said, I needed help with like a lot of other things with my mental health, like just in general. So it was good that I was going to therapy. It did not by any means solve my skin picking issues. Honestly, just some weeks are good and some weeks are bad and some weeks are awful. Like, I can't say that it's truly ever gotten really better. The picking, that is, the acne definitely has gotten better. I'm using my Khuraira translucent powder. So these past few days, I've been picking significantly less than I can remember in a long time. I picked today, and that's okay, because I'm just going to not pick for the rest of the day and hopefully not pick tomorrow. And do you know why? Because my skin looks good when I don't pick. This sounds really simple and basic, but I'm gonna tell you why it's like kind of revolutionary. Hopefully anybody who struggles with this issue who's watching, you could try and start thinking this way, because it really helps me. I'm taking my Wet n Wild Photo Focus powder on my e.l.f. blush brush. In relation to my acne and my skin picking, there are like two thoughts that I would have, and they were both negative. They are both negative. It's not like I've suddenly ceased having these thoughts. Number one, that my skin looks bad, that you know, I have pimples and my skin looks bad with the pimples. They need to come out. And you know, that kind of thought leads to me picking and popping, because I'm so impatient, like as a person, that I could convince myself that I can fix something right away. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way it is with my skin. A lot of the times I'll be like, there's a bump, I can control this, and I'll squeeze it out and I'll see it getting red. But you know, that leaves a mark, which turns into hyperpigmentation and sometimes turns into a scar. So then I started thinking to myself, okay, well, I need to start telling myself that every time I pick, it's gonna leave a scar. But that's also very negative. That's like telling yourself that you can't have ice cream because you're gonna get fat, which to me is like obviously not a healthy thought or a healthy way of getting yourself to eat healthier. I'm taking the NARS bronzer in Laguna on my Luxie highlighting brush. So a lot of people, you know, might be very disciplined and have success telling themselves, don't do this because it's gonna lead to this negative thing. And like in general, I don't think it's bad to think that way. Like obviously, don't put your hand inside the oven because it's gonna burn. Like, yeah, duh. But when it comes to things that you're struggling with and your relationship with your body, I just don't think negativity like is the way to address it. I'm using my Sonia Kashuk blush brush and the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush in Mood Exposure. So, oh my god, that's so pretty. Every time I use this blush, I'm like so excited, which is like every day. One thing I can say that other people with picking issues have told me, like that they agree with me on, is that like other people like policing their habits is really not helpful. And I'm just using like this powder to put in my brows. This is like not available anymore, but whatever. But yeah, so like having people tell me like, you know, it's really bad to pick, blah, 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 like that wasn't helpful either. And when I was younger, that would actually make me like lash out really bad. And it always bothered me as well, because like to me, people telling me like what to do and like, oh, you just need a good skin regimen. I'm like, really? Like, if there's anybody who has products that she's using, it's me. Like, I don't know, I just wouldn't appreciate people, I don't know, getting all self-righteous about my skin issue When like, yeah, I know, like some people, they just want to help and that's the only way they know how to like be a part of your life is to like criticize you a little bit. Don't tell me that's not true, because that is so true about a lot of people. Anyway, so my point is, don't tell yourself these negative things. Like, don't give yourself negative reinforcement. Like, what helps me at least, like, again, I can't say what's gonna help you, but what helps me is when I tell myself my skin looks good when I don't pick. And my response, like, typically had been after I would pick or pop, I would be like, okay, well, let me just throw a retinol mask on, and then let me put like retinol on top, and then maybe a hydrating cream to like counteract the aggressive effects of the retinol. Anyway, I still love like exfoliation and retinol and all those things, but I'd rather just treat inflammation first, which just is one of the #1 rules of my job. But actually, side note, being an esthetician has allowed me to really get good at seeing somebody's skin and seeing what that skin needs. And now I'm kind of able to look at my own face and be like, my face needs love. Let me throw on a soothing mask instead of a retinol mask. I'm using TheBalm's Nude Tude palette. This isn't like my favorite, but I just broke it out because I haven't used it in a while. But yeah, getting to that point is really about not telling yourself, oh, you know, stop doing this, stop doing that, or my skin looks awful, I have to fix it right now. What's helped me is telling myself, wow, my skin looks so good right now. My skin looks great. You know, my skin looks great when I don't pick. My skin looks great when it's not red from picking and all these things. My skin looks great when I give it a break. Like, my skin looks great when it's relaxed. Like, all of these positive things about giving my skin a break. So yeah, that's been really helpful lately, and in general has just reminded me how important it is to just disrupt negative thoughts and like those, you know, the ones that cause anxiety that are like jackhammers in your brain. And the only way to really stop that is to consciously take that thought and turn it into something else. This Smith 220 brush is amazing for blending out like shadow that you're using as liner. I'm just popping on a little bit of liquid liner. I'm not gonna do a big wing or anything because I don't wanna take away from like this grungy smokiness. Just kind of stamping that on. Okay, so I threw on some mascara and the Kat Von D liquid lipstick in Lolita. I haven't used this in so long either, but it used to be like my favorite. I feel like between these two, this was like a throwback video. Anyway, I don't have time for falsies. I'm running late to work already. So let me know what you thought of this video. Let me know if this is something that you or somebody you know has struggled with. Please leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about those negative thoughts versus the positive thought that I proposed, if you tried that for yourself and how it works out. Please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.